We're not talking about relationship goals as in an image that you're portraying on Instagram or social media.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about what are the relationship goals that you have between your marriage of you all evolving, growing together, and pushing one another forward.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of Actually, I Like My Spouse.
Yes, welcome back to episode 5.
Episode 5, coming back off of a vacation.
Oh, yes.
How are you doing, my love?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. It's been a great day, a great weekend.
Yeah, I actually said I'm doing great, but it's been ups and downs over the last 2 weeks. I've been going through things with my body, and my face is breaking out. My scalp is scalping, and I've had these kind of phases of flare-ups, I would call it. And this one seems more persistent. So that has been giving me some stress, but yeah. Otherwise, I'm blessed and I'm happy to be here.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, I know today the topic that we have written down was relationship goals. What's the second part of it?
Well, you know what? Yes, relationship goals, but not in the way that you think. Today, we're talking about relationship goals. There's been this big conversation around the great lock-in. And what people are referring to as the great lock-in is this concept of locking in for the last 3.5 months of the year, kind of rolling into your 2026. And so I saw that and thought about, like, what does it look like to lock in on your marriage for the rest of the year and kind of go into the new year strong, right? And we think of relationship goals. What do you think of when you hear relationship goals?
I'm Pastor Michael Todd and their series on relationship goals and essentially talking about singleness and how to prepare to be in a marriage.
But before Michael Todd, the reason he even probably named his series relationship goals is that was a trendy thing.
Very trendy, Instagrammable
relationship
hashtag.
goals. Yeah. And relationship goals symbolize that idealistic partnership, idealistic couple, idealistic marriage, at least the way that it was displayed.
Yeah.
And so he kind of played off of that and did a relationship goals series.
Yeah. And to your point, we did an exercise today. And the exercise that we did today was surrounded around relationship goals.
And what do we mean by relationship goals?
In the aspect of what we were talking about was we actually did a reflection, and we were able to do a reflection of each of us and to kind of peel back our lives and do an assessment.
So relationship goals, when we're referring to it, we're referring to the actual goals of your relationship, not your status as a couple.
Yes.
Right? Which is what the point I was trying to make is, like, this is how we're turning it on its head.
Correct.
Is we're not talking about relationship goals as in an image that you're portraying on Instagram or social media. We're talking about what are the relationship goals that you have between your partner, between your marriage, of you all kind of evolving, growing together, and pushing one another forward. Yes.
And then diving deeper into that, what we discovered was, as a couple, yes, we do have some goals that we have as a married couple that we're seeking to accomplish together. However, one of the topics that we were talking about is individualism in a marriage. And so now when you talk about relationship goals, how can I help you achieve some goals how can I help you discover what are some goals that you have for yourself that you want to create? Let's peel back and see, like, maybe were there some things that you had in the past that you haven't really been able to, for whatever reason, focus in on. Are some of those things, can we bring that back to the surface? And so that's what I wanted to kind of talk about today, too, in terms of how we were able to surface those things.
Okay, great. Maybe I can kick us off with a question that just came up for me.
Come on.
Is when we think about goals, we think about goals from a standpoint of a lot of times individualistic success, right? So where I am headed, what are my goals for my career? What are my goals for my body? What are my goals for my life? Do you think that it's important when you are married to someone to have relationship goals that are centered on the relationship as a union.
Yes, 100%. I do think it's important because it's something that we both can work on, right? And so it's not only, I think a lot of times when people think about their careers, that becomes that individual person's goal. But the couple can have a monetary number that they're looking to achieve, an investment number that they're looking to achieve. I mean, we're going through right now in terms of like our phase of starting a family, when we want to start a family. So I think there's a lot of goals that couples should have together.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that couples having individual goals is important. But I think just as important is relationship goals. And what I mean by relationship goals is goals that causes you to lean into one another and collectively contribute to reach a destination. Right. Yeah. So when I think about these type of goals, you think about like, oh, we're saving for a house, we're buying a home. Okay, we're starting a family. Okay, maybe we're paying down debt, and we're collectively both dumping into that bucket to pay off debt, right? Or maybe you have relationship goals that are, centered around the growth of your partner, but maybe it's a collective goal, right? So like when I think about growing individually and I think about the goals that I have set for myself, I wonder, is this also my husband's responsibility to contribute to this individual goal as well?
I say on that note, yes. And what I mean by contribute is we're now in a partnership, right? And we like to say Team Webley. When I think about a team activity, you're as strong as your weakest link.
Yes.
And so when you think about a team sport, you think about a partnership, I need to know what you're focused on, what you're trying to achieve, and see where I can support you. And where I can support you. And then there's times where, how can I hold you accountable?
Yes. And
then also having a really clear understanding, because what does the finish line look like for you? And so my planning, my preparing of just my week, my day, I want to make sure that I'm encouraging you and supporting you in the goals that you have for your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's good because I think about goal alignment. Like, let's say I got a goal of like, okay, I want to get into this school, right? And this school is in Florida. But you have a goal of like, I want to go and work for this firm and film thing in LA.
Yeah.
How does that work?
There's no alignment there.
Exactly.
If we're on two different planes.
Yes. So whenever we're thinking about goals individually, they kind of are still, to your point, couples goals because they still need to be aligned for us to move in the same direction.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Even if we're individually moving towards our individual goals, they still need to be parallel to one another.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So take us through the exercise that we did earlier today that kind of introduced us into goal setting for the rest of our year.
So this is, and maybe we can pull the clip up. You actually found a clip of Quentin Tarantino.
And it found me randomly.
It randomly found you because you're not the movie buff of the couple here.
Right.
But there was a clip of Quentin Tarantino that came up. And in this clip, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he was talking about essentially what changed his life, what turned his life around.
Yeah.
And he was 25 years old and he was working at a video store. Doesn't exist now, but it would equivalent to a Blockbuster. Yes. And he was just talking about being at 25. He was asleep for a few years. He was asleep for a few years because he said 8 years. He said he always had this passion to be in the film and to create movies. To create movies.
Yes.
And he just didn't want to get a job, like a job working at a pizza store. So he was like, well, I can have a adjacent movie career by working at this video store. And he loved it.
And he's like, it can be good enough.
It could be good enough.
Like maybe I don't make it to, or maybe I'm not doing what I really want to do, but I'm adjacent to it.
I'm adjacent to it. And he was just talking about how there was someone that was older that he lived with that also worked at the movie store. And the guy, he had a heart to heart with the guy.
Yes.
And the guy was essentially telling him, listen, like, you don't understand what's happening to your life right now.
Yeah.
I've lived this and you're having a good time. You're having fun right now. But I promise you, you're going to leave this job and you're going to go to another job, hang out with the same type of people, enjoy them. And then 4 years later, you're going to do the same thing for a different dead end kind of a role, different job. And he said, it hit him like a ton of bricks where he just had
Like eventually he was like, well, what?
He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to these goals and dreams that I have if I continue on this trajectory?
Yeah.
And he said he did, I can't remember the name of it, but he essentially did a reflection night. He's like the Quentin something. Again, we got to show the video. And in that reflective night, he said he would go over all of his decisions that he made over his life. And he said a lot of these was bad decisions or mistakes that he made, and he would do it all night. And then he said, though, but the end of the night, he would say, okay, what do I need to do now to do differently?
To get to where I actually want to be.
How can I pull some lessons and say, how can I fix this to get on the path of where I want to be?
Yes. Yes.
And so the exercise that we did today, which I think every couple should do, you acted as my therapist.
So we did a role playing session.
We did a role playing session.
And it was impromptu. It wasn't like we sat down to do this.
No. But you know, the thing was, the whole idea behind it was, okay, we want to do this session. And he was like, honey, I know you saw the video, but did you do it?
Yeah.
I was like, well, no, I didn't do it. I want to write it down. And he was like, you know what? How about we do it together?
Yeah. I'm like, let's do it now.
And let's do this role play.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to act like your therapist.
Yes.
Because what I believe in relationships is so important. This is just a sidebar. Is sometimes we convolute the good advice or the advice at all from our husband, our wives, our partners, because we're hearing it from them all the time. And sometimes it feels like their advice is clouded with the judgment of one another, or like there's so many deep layers.
So I would say this, after doing this exercise, mine's probably took 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours. And yours took about 2 hours. Having the thought process of the role play and literally just being an advisor, being someone that you can kind of reflect off. And even when I have to respond back to you, it was different.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It removed that.
It removed the layer of being like you weren't involved in this relationship. You were just,
I'm a neutral party.
Super neutral.
And so it just placed us in the mental space to be able to be a neutral party for one another. And we knew, like, we can't go into this exercise being creation Michael. I can't guide Michael through this exercise as creation because I'm going to bring in all my shit.
You were Dr. Webley.
I was Dr. Webley, and I made an intentional effort, like, okay, I am completely removing myself. And even in the way that I was responding to the session, I was actively taking off my wife hat mentally when I was thinking about, okay, how am I going to respond right now to what he's saying? So setting the stage, we sat at the table right behind us, and I got into my role. Yep. I didn't put on no outfit or anything. We say that for different nights.
The reason why we did not film those sessions, we were very much in robes and very comfortable. Yeah,
drinking our morning coffee, and we went through the exercise. And so what we did was we went through your career from high school chronologically up until now.
Career, life, high school decisions, college decisions. We went through it all. We went through it all, and we went through the reasons and the decisions that we made throughout our careers that has now landed us here in 2025, going into Q4 of 2025. And we made a really good, realistic assessment, right? I can be transparent. I can be transparent with some of the things that you that we both came up with for myself, and just some through lines that we had. Where is this page? Okay, yeah, I have it here. A constant through line here. It was no plan, no goal, chasing money, misaligned in roles,
And roles throughout your career.
misaligned in roles throughout my career, feeling inadequate, not taking responsibility, not taking accountability for my life path. And so those were just some through lines as I was just taking notes throughout some of the things that we were talking about in pivotal moments in my life.
And maybe contextualize for the people listening what your career has been over the last 15 years.
My career has been in sales, in various forms of sales.
Yes.
And I would say one of the things that we came to a conclusion to, I revealed to you today, in college, it was like, wait, this wasn't the thought.
You didn't have a plan to get into sales. This was not like, I'm going to grow up and get in sales.
No. As we were just talking about this week about our future kids, like what would we have them do? What would we tell them to do? It's like, yes, be an entrepreneur. However, if we're paying for you to go to school, you need to come out and have a trade.
Yeah.
So my thought process in going to school was to be an accountant. My thought was, okay, that was the trajectory that I was on until I got to a place where I was coming to the end of my scholarship, but I wasn't finished with my accounting courses, and went to meet my advisor, and my advisor said, you actually have enough credits to graduate with this business administration degree. I was like, word? Oh, okay. But that taking the easy route was...
Because the option was to stay in school longer,
stay in
to
school
get this
for
accounting
potentially another 2 years or so, or you can leave now and graduate now. And so, looking back at it, we saw some other paths or the decisions that I made where it was just like, oh wait, you also had a decision prior in high school where it's like, oh, you took a easier route, and that affected you and your scholarship.
So, whenever you think about your career and you think about this in the context of relationship goals, right? Out of the last 15 years, I've been with you 12 years, right?
Yes.
And so what is your thoughts on how I, as your partner, as once your girlfriend, once your fiance, and now your wife, what do you think my role was in supporting those decisions over the 12 years, right? As you reflect on it now, like, what do you think about that in the context of relationship goals?
In the context of relationship goals, when I first got with you, I was at a sales job that I was successful at. But in that role, there was still stresses and challenges that came with it. And so in terms of support, I mean, you were a huge support in allowing me to think of myself and think of what I was doing in a space or in a place where I can elevate. And it's like, oh, you're doing this type of sales, but what else could you do?
Yeah.
In terms of sales.
Exactly.
I told you at that point in time that I had aspirations for, getting into TV and film, being a producer. But we were in Texas and don't really know how I can do that. And it's like, okay, well, if that's what you want to do, okay. But what about what you're doing right now in terms of earning an income? Could you...
Is there a higher level?
Is there a higher level of sales that you can do while you pursue your dream as well? Okay,
so we did that part. So you felt like my role was kind of supporting throughout the 12 years, kind of the decisions you were making, not necessarily helping you to clarify or make decisions.
No, not in that way. I think I had, from the time that I was in school, I had this notion of I'll be able to do my job and then work on my dream on the side. And so that's also one of the through lines that we saw. Yeah. Where it was just like
this side hustle.
But
not really going for it, but like kind of pseudo going for it.
So what we've learned for both of us, it was like this Quentin Tarantino thing really hit us because we were both doing this, adjacent thing where it's just like, well, I have a passion, I have a dream, but I don't know how to actually make money off of that right now. So I need to be working while pursuing this dream.
Okay, so walk us through. So that was the walking through the like, okay, here's the last 15 years of my life. This is what the goals and the decisions that I've made. Where did you land on the other side of that? Because I know you wrote out some kind of clarifying points that I think could be helpful to share as well. Because part of the exercise is you go through all these decisions in detail, understand why you made the decisions. And then the second part of the exercise is, okay, what now?
What now in terms of what are some things that you gathered from it? And then what are some of the action plans?
Yeah.
So the big things I have here, big takeaways, be the driver of your life, forge the path, decide, set and accomplish goals, know that you are worthy for good things to happen to you and for you. That was something that
That's amazing.
Was also a through line there, where some decisions were based on circumstance, family, but even just, I would say, self-worth, right? And not believing I can expect a higher level of things for myself.
Yeah. Wow, that's powerful.
Another one was have great expectations for yourself, and greatness will happen if you focus on them.
Yes. That's good.
The fourth thing was align yourself with work that lights up your energy, your curiosity and motivation. And then the last one was take action. Know what it is I'm going for and move towards it.
Yeah.
And so those were some key takeaways from it.
Okay. So for me, we did the same exercise and we wrote in the same book. So if I could borrow that from you.
Yes.
I, over the last 12 years, it's been 13 years. No, 12 years, literally, since I graduated. And
it has been 12 years.
Yeah, I've been with you since I got out of college.
Jesus Christ.
So my journey was similar in that I kind of made decisions based on, well, I guess it was dissimilar in that I was making decisions based around like kind of achievement to a certain degree.
Well, let's talk about it, right? When you were in school, you had said that the similar thing that you had was you had an expectation of what you were going into school for.
Yeah, my mother was very hard on like, you need to be a nursing or go into medicine or something like that because she's a nurse. And out of, the heart of wanting to protect her daughter and make sure that she's set up, the advice was, you need to go to school for medicine.
Yeah.
And so I genuinely believed that I thought I wanted to be an OBGYN. And so I went into school thinking that I would become a doctor. But really my passion was in fashion. And that's something that I was already kind of doing.
Yeah.
So long story short, I end up getting into retail, okay, with a bachelor's degree. And
well, it is a long story short there, but I think the pathway was one of the things I really loved about your story was you recognized early on that as you were taking some of these classes in medicine and chemistry, should I say, not even medicine, science,
chemistry specifically
chemistry, you was like, I don't know.
I was like, nope, that is not for me. Once I got on, when they have the chemistry table with like the B, the little B and the C and the calcium and I was like, oh, this is 7 years more of chemistry. Because I remember I specifically talked to one of the TAs,
yes.
Or is it a PA?
TAs.
And she was like, oh, this is the entry level. You're going to take so many chemistry classes throughout your I said.
You was like, oh, this is science. This is science.
I said,
oh, no.
I thought I was learning. This is the elbow. This is the femur. This is the thyroid.
I want to learn physiology.
I said, absolutely not.
This ain't
Exit
it.
stage left.
No. Let me get it
I
out
ain't
of
even
here.
finished the class. I dropped the class and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to my mom about this doctor route.
But
I don't know.
But the crazy part about that story is you then said, "Oh, I like fashion.
Yeah.
I want to move to New York."
Yes.
But the school that you're going to only had fashion merchandising.
Yeah, there was no fashion design, fashion. The only fashion degree was fashion merchandising, and I didn't even know what that meant at the time. And so I learned that fashion merchandising was about buying, and I thought it was about fashion. It's really about spreadsheets and numbers. How many things are you buying? How often are they selling? How much more do we need to buy? Which section of the store? What region should we put it in?
But when you finally decided and you said, "Okay, I'm going to switch this," you had a really good decision in your mind and said, "Okay, this is the new trajectory that I'm going to go to.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into these clubs, this fashion club at the school. I'm going to participate. I'm also going to be a stylist on campus.
And I'm going to have my friends doing photo shoots. Shout out to Taylor and Mercedes and all the people I had doing photo shoots out here.
Styling, modeling shows and
hooking
different
up
things.
with different photographers and like asking them, can they shoot us for free?
Come on now.
Yeah, so I was doing that throughout college. And then I transitioned out of college and I became a fashion blogger and started blogging my own fashion. And so my story is wild. And if we were to talk about it, we would be here for 3 hours.
But
because I got a lot of...
The point of what I'm making is as we're pulling out some of the things that you were talking about and reflecting on, we all, in every aspect of your life, you had an entrepreneurial aspect to it.
And when I have like a decision or like a creative pull, I'm not afraid to go for it. Of like, oh, I'm gonna try this out. Like maybe this is completely left field, but like it makes sense for me right now, and it feels good right now, and I'm gonna try it out.
So for you, what were some of the things that you pulled? I know you wrote some of that stuff down. What were some of the things that you pulled in your reflection?
So when I got to the second part of the exercise, the latter part of my career over the last 8 years has been in the tech world.
Yeah.
And I moved to this habit of chasing the money. And so I believed, oh, okay. Once I got into tech and I realized the amount of money that I could make, I was like, oh, I can find happiness in this money. Hence, like me chasing the money, right? So it became, once I get into tech, then it was like, oh, I need to get this role, and then I can get to this number and this number, and then if I can get to 200,000, and then I got to 200,000, I'm like, if I can get to 250,000, and I realized within that, setting those goals that I still didn't find happiness within these things, and I would find myself miserable because perception wise, it seemed like I had it all, and we've had it all, and like all these things, and yes, we've built beautiful things over the years, right? But the money didn't add up to happiness. And so some of the patterns that I have here is more money will solve this. That was a thinking pattern I had. More money would be stable until my dreams crept back up again. So these roles would feel really good initially, and I would feel good about it until like really what I wanted to do would start creeping back in.
Yep.
And then unable to see my entrepreneurial endeavors through. And so a lot of times I would put this pressure on the things that I've done in an entrepreneurial spirit to make money, like in the immediate, versus just seeing the long-term vision and sticking to it long enough for it to grow into something.
And as you say that right now, I'm now thinking about it, and the pressure for it to make money, it's one thing for it to make money because I've been with you since 2012, and in that time you started something way before a lot of companies. Thrift outside the box.
Yes.
Was like one of your first creations. It made money.
Yes.
But it wasn't that it needed to make money. It needs to replace the tech job money that I'm making. This 6-figure role that I'm making, this entrepreneurial endeavor needs to make this 6 figures in 6 months or less.
And what I didn't understand as an entrepreneur that I understand now is it takes money to make money, in the sense of yes, the thrift outside the box was making money, but if you really want to blow this thing out the park, you need about $200,000-$300,000 in marketing and like to be able to scale this out and get it to as many customers as possible, as quickly as possible, so you can gain market share, like all of those things. And we so often as entrepreneurs, a lot of times Black entrepreneurs, not all of us, but try to pull money right out as soon as you make $1. It's like 50 of that cents is mine now. It's like no. You have a long time before you can really actually pull money out of your business.
Right.
And I didn't understand that at that time. And so another thing I pulled out was dreams don't die. They just fade momentarily. Okay. So we have these dreams and these things that we think we want to do and we believe we want to do. And we're like, oh, eventually I'll get to it. Right. And when we don't live these dreams out, when we don't exercise our creativity, it festers in the body. We think about the book,
The Body Keeps Score?
The Body Keeps Score.
Okay.
Right? And that book talks about how these things fester in our body and they become illnesses. And we wonder why we're so sick and anxiety ridden and like all these things, because we're not truly expressing the fullness of who we are as God's creations and human beings. We are creators and we are supposed to be creating, right? Whether that's you're creating through baking or you're creating through painting or you're creating through homemaking and your children. And like, we are to exercise these things. And when we don't, maybe it fades, but it always comes back up. At least in my experience, I've learned that. And then decision-making ability. So on a positive note, I've learned over my 12 years of career that I have the ability to make decisions. Like once I know something, I have a vision for it and I see it, I'm not afraid to take action and go get it.
I think that you're selling yourself short. And what we pull from that is, yes, that and your decision-making ability is powerful. You have the ability to literally move mountains with the decision that you make. What I explained to you was, once you have a decision, once you have a something set in your mind, it's almost like you move out of this reality and you move into another metaphysical realm. Yeah. Because, like you said, at one point in time you were working at Lyft and you should have got a promotion. And you let the manager know at that day, okay, cool, that wasn't right. But you said that day, you said, I'm leaving. I'm not going to be here.
Yeah, like, nah, that don't work for me.
And 3 weeks later, a recruiter from Facebook called you.
Yeah, and I didn't even apply to the role, but I made it up. I made my mind up already.
You made your mind up, and it's just like I said, it's like something happened in the universe, something connected with God, where you aligned in that moment. And from then on, it was just like, okay, my time here is up.
It's limited. Like, yeah, y'all don't even realize I'm already out of here.
I'm already out of here.
I'm coming to work today, but what? I don't work here no more. Like, y'all don't know that.
Yeah.
And what I would say that is the Holy Spirit. One thing that I really lean into and I know is so deeply ingrained in me is my intuition. It's never wrong, ever, which I believe is the Holy Spirit. And when I actually listen to that, it has never steered me wrong. And so when I actually listen to it and I really, really believe what it's saying to me, it's like I'm a cat and a mouse. I'm like, I just got to catch it. Like I can see it and I'm about to keep running towards these things, zigzagging until I can catch it.
Amen.
And so, yeah, so one thing that I think is important, because we are talking to couples and we are talking to people who are in partnerships and marriages, is that in full transparency, we haven't really like hammered down on like some solid couple goals, relationship goals, and actually accomplish them. Like we've been able to live a lot of life through God's blessings and being in fortunate positions where we have been able to afford ourselves a lifestyle, right? That some people only dream of in regards to the amount of money we've been bringing in over the last, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Which has been a blessing, but it hasn't necessarily been rooted in like these goals that we've set as couples. It's been what we've been able to do individually that we've both benefited from, right?
Correct.
And so even this exercise and us talking about this today is really the reason we set our asses at the table to do this was, all right, so we need to look at what's been on the board over the last few years. And now is the time. Like,
go for it.
Go for it.
Let's go for it.
It's now or never. Hence, we're doing this podcast here. Like, this is bigger than Creation and Michael.
Right.
Like, we're leaving a legacy for our children. And what are we doing? Right. This is bigger than home ownership and all. And I think those things are great and that people buy homes and all this stuff. But sometimes that's where people's ambition and their goals stop. It's like, we got the home, we had the kids, and now we're just miserably living this day to day over and over, going to these jobs that we don't even like. But then it's like, and maybe that's good for some people. And some people find joy in that. And I think that's a blessing. But as far as this household, we have a lot of like big dreams and ambitions. And we got to get serious about them.
100%. And to your point, every household is different. Every marriage is different.
Yeah.
And so as we are talking about our marriage goals and our couple's goals,
yes,
you know, someone else that says we want to do X, Y, and Z. And if they achieve that,
yes,
I think that's what you're talking about. Well, now, once you achieve those goals, then now what? Obviously you can, you know, make it to the next. Okay, what's the next achievement that we have in our lives? But for you and I, we're saying, well, okay, wait, we've had many things over the last few years, and life has been lifing.
Yeah.
And some of the things that we've had in our past as big dreams, big goals, we've put them aside because now these careers have taken place.
Yes.
And we're, okay, we want to get married. We want to...
And if
we want to do all these things,
if we exit these careers, then the money, like, okay, we've built this lifestyle now around $300,000, and like, what? It's like, oh, now we can't leave. Now it's like the golden handcuffs, right? And so now we're coming to a place, and we just encourage other couples too to like, if you know, there's a way, and there, what we say earlier,
there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way. To sit down with your partner and your couples, and I mean your husband or your wife, and just kind of revisit those dreams. Like, what are the things that y'all talked about when y'all first met, like in the honeymoon phase, where dreams still felt real, that you could accomplish them together, and that there was things far beyond y'all's relationship that y'all were gonna do.
Have a reset. Have a real reset, because that's what I felt like happened today. I remember after your session with Dr. Webley,
yes,
you said, man, this was so helpful.
Yes, the best conversation we've had all year.
The best conversation we had all year is what you said. And I felt like it was powerful. Like I felt so energized after my session, where I was just like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, Dr. Webley.
You're like, I can accomplish anything now. I'm out of here.
But and I'm locked in and zoned in on these particular areas of, you know, turning things around. Yes. And, you know, I want to add something here because after we did my session, I went first. There was a section for a second, I was about to beat myself up. And you said, hey, what we want to do now is, before we go into taking action, let's celebrate all of these decisions that you made over the course of your life.
Yes. I felt called in that moment to like, because there's so many ways that we can look at our past and just beat ourselves and berate ourselves and like, I should have did this.
I wish I did this. I wish
if only I would have made this decision. Yes, like carrying a lot of regret. And in that moment, I felt called, again, the Holy Spirit, to just let you know, like, you made such great decisions. And you made the best decision that you thought in that moment was the best decision. Congratulations. Like, that's great. There's no amount of time or moment that I think to myself, oh, he didn't have good intentions here.
And that was super powerful. It was super empowering at that time. And I made sure and saved the actual quote here, but there was a Maya Angelou quote that you were trying to remember at the time. I'll let you say it because you You semi remembered it. You was,
Well, it was essentially the essence of what I was trying to tell you in that moment, which Dr. Angelou said, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better.
correct. When you know better, do better.
Do the best you can until you know better.
There you go.
So in all of the 15 years of your career, you did the best you could, right? And now we're at a point where we know better. Oh, okay, we can make decisions a little differently now. Oh, if I were making that amount of money again, I probably would move with it a little different. I don't know if I would go get the luxury vehicle. I don't know. Like, now we know better. We have better information.
Yep.
And now we get to make new decisions. And now we get to also build out our relationship goals. Like, what are the goals that we're building together? How can I support Michael in this next phase of his life and his career? How can you support me? And the best thing that we did for each other today in that session, I feel, was be transparent and honest.
Yes. And I think the only reason why we were able to have such great conversations is because we role played.
Yes,
we
exactly.
were able to role play, and we were able to step back from being husband, step back from being wife.
Yes.
And now we coined ourselves as doctors, therapists, and it was just being able to listen without having any walls up, without having any, the walls. I think that really helped.
Yeah, the walls came down. And so when we think about couples goals, right? What do you think, and we'll wrap it up pretty soon, but what do you think is some of the, what are some of the common pitfalls that people fall into when they come into creating goals just in general? Like, some of the ones I think about is, when we set goals and they're not really realistic. So it's like, in 30 days, I'm going to make $100 million. Okay. And I'm going, like, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I think setting realistic goals. And also, I would encourage people, there's this book called The 12-Week Year. And this end of the year is a perfect time to lean in on that book. Essentially what it is a book that says, do what you plan on accomplishing in a year in 12 weeks. And it has a system. I have a spreadsheet and all this because I've built it out multiple times that corresponds to it. But imagine if you go into Q4 with your partner, with your husband, with your wife, and y'all are locked in on 3 goals. 3 goals, whether that's centered around you wanting to uplift and recenter your marriage in your life. Maybe the kids have kind of taken over and they're like at the forefront. And maybe there's also a goal around finances, that whether that's to knock out some debt, whether that's to increase y'all's finances. And maybe there's goals around loving up on each other, right? Whether that's centered around date nights, quality time with one another. I would encourage y'all to go into this next two weeks before Q4. It's 2 weeks now, right? Almost 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so go over this next 2.5 weeks, build out a roadmap and a plan for Q4. Like, make this the strongest freaking Q4 that y'all have ever had in your marriage.
And I think that's great. I think having set goals for the end of the year is fantastic. I also encourage couples right now to sit down and do this exercise.
Yes.
Because I say couples and individuals that are, if you're a single person right now,
single person too,
this is really good to have some reflection. That was the big thing for me, was just like, okay, I do have some dreams. I do have some aspirations that's been on the back burner for a while.
Yeah.
And so this exercise really allowed me to reflect. And so to your point, reigniting a lot of those goals can reignite people's marriages.
Yes, because you bring a new energy in when you feel like you're accomplishing things and you're purpose filled and you got movement. You're active. Get active.
Get active. But it's so much like, I just think about so many people. One of the statistics that we read sometime this week talked about how wives they are not only more so in the workforce now, but they're also doing a lot of like the home labor.
Yes.
And so they're basically working double jobs.
On top of being the most educated
Amen.
as well.
Amen.
Okay,
Amen.
don't leave that out.
I ain't gonna leave that out. I ain't gonna leave it out.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, from a perspective of that woman, there might be some dreams and goals and aspirations that she might have had.
Yes.
That she, might again tucked away because it's just like, I got to deal with this life stuff right now.
Yes.
And having a conversation with her spouse and having like that resurface, that could feel so empowering for that couple, for her.
Yes.
And same thing for the husband, having an understanding as a wife, like how can I be a helpmate to you?
Yes.
And some
what
of your dreams
do
and
you
aspirations.
still have? Yeah. I had a friend that recently told me about her husband's dream that he's been wanting to do for 2 or 3 years. And I encouraged her. I'm like, push him to do that. Like, how can you support him in doing that? What does that look like? Because for 2 or 3 years, that's a long time, and he's still talking about it. You as his wife and his helpmate, not that you should be doing the work or anything like that, but positioning, right? Helping to kind of alleviate certain things that's kind of hindering him from pursuing that dream, because a lot of times a man is just trying to provide. And so he's so focused on that like he loses sight of like, well, wait a minute. Remember you wanted to do this?
How?
Yeah.
They're in their minds, it's just like,
how can I do both?
How can I do both? And it just doesn't seem possible. And just having a different perspective of just like, oh, but what about this route?
Yes.
Oh, when you get back home, if I take the kids and now you had 2 hours to do this, 3, would that help?
Yes.
And I think that's why I said, to me, the most important thing, set goals, and over these next 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks into the basically end of the summer, beginning of Q4, I think those conversations will really open up so much possibilities.
Yes.
For their relationship, for people's relationships, for individuals. I think it'll be powerful.
Yes. So let's say a jump off question for this exercise. After you've done this exercise, a jump off question to kind of dive more into conversation is, what's one dream or what's a dream that you've always had that I know about or I don't know about that you're still interested in accomplishing?
I love that.
Yeah. And see where that takes the conversation with your partner. I'm sure that's going to be pretty revealing for a lot of couples.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yes, this has been great, guys. We're going into Q4 stronger than ever, in more alignment than we've ever been, with relationship goals, goals that we're accomplishing together, individually. We're also opening and going to transition into continuing to do solo episodes, meaning the two of us, but also we are going to start having guests on the podcast.
Yes.
Other couples, experts that can kind of speak to these different things we're talking about, even more so than we can. And so I hope y'all are looking forward to that. Thank y'all so much for checking in.
We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us for episode 5. Until next time.
Tap in, subscribe. Cheers.
Peace.